If you come across a problem now and you've had to solve it, what's the thinking pattern that you would apply? How would you do it? Most people would use reasoning from analogy, which basically means you would take what's working today, what's working for other people, what's worked for you in the past, and try and use those lessons and those basic tips to try and solve your new problem. This is fine and it works most of the time, but there's another thinking pattern that I want you to consider, which is now been made famous by a guy called Elon Musk. And I covered him in the last video, but let me talk you through it. Hi, my name is Zopi. I talk about health, wealth, and happiness. So today's video is about thinking from first principles. So what is this about? It's really easy to understand. And what it is when you've been given a problem, I mean, we come through problems all the time, right? Whether it be, relationship problem, engineering problem, whatever it may be, problems are there. What you have to try and do is break this problem down to its core components of it. Okay? Once you break it down into its core components, you can sort of work from the ground up instead of going, hey, I've got this problem. How did I deal with it in the past? That's, reasoning from analogy. What you want to do is step back and think, hey, at its core, what am I trying to achieve here? I mean, if I use this as a basic example, this is a little tall truck. What are the components of this truck? There's the wheels, the engine, the frame, the chassis, and a whole lot of other things that I don't know enough to explain, all right? But these are the core fundamental things. If you were to build this from scratch, how would you do it? You would try and, applying the whole thinking from first principles, you would try and break these down into its components, but go in even further. What are these made out of? What's this made out of? Where can you find these materials? Is it cheaper to find it somewhere else? Believe it or not, this is actually what Elon Musk did when he started developing Tesla. He found that the highest cost that's involved in building a Tesla car was the battery. And he basically broke this down into its raw components of it. What are batteries made out of? Lithium, cobalt, iron, and a few other bits and pieces. And he goes, okay, instead of us trying to buy these batteries from somewhere else, why can't we buy the raw materials and actually build the batteries ourselves? And that's what they started doing. But now they've got sort of partnerships with Panasonic and so forth. But at its core, he broke the problem down into its basic components of it. Similar concept with when he ended up launching SpaceX. He saw a fundamental problem. The fundamental problems that was happening in the space scene was every time a rocket goes up, it wouldn't come back down. If it did, it would blow up or something would happen. The rockets weren't recyclable. They couldn't. It was basically one shot. It would go up and that's it. So he goes, okay, how are we going to solve this problem? And he ended up sort of working through that engineering problem, and now he's got reusable rockets, which is phenomenal to think that this could be done 20 years ago. But he's changed the way that he does things just by applying the concept of thinking from first principles. And, as I'm speaking about this, I'm no expert. I'm experimenting and learning this as much as possible as well, because most of us are intuitively apply the reasoning from an analogy. What are we used to? What's worked from us in the past? And that there is a place for that, I think. There is a place for that. But if you want to go out of the box and be really creative and innovative, you have to go for the other path, which is reasoning from first principles. I hope this video helped you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.